Hi guys! I don't think anyone should ever apologise for how they look, but I'm looking particularly tired these last couple of videos. Because I am tired, I'm really tired, really nauseous, just feeling not fantastic at the moment. So yeah, I guess today is my 9 to 10 week update. I'm 10 weeks today, tomorrow, I can't remember. So yeah, I still feel very anxious doing these updates, especially as it's so early. I've always been very scared to share my journey early, which is why I've always wanted to do like the kind of TTC updates and then like live pregnancy test and like kind of go week by week. I think I have a lot of admiration for people to do that. It's really nice to follow their journeys, but at the same time my anxiety just is so much so that I never felt that I could do that. And so this time around, obviously with the situation going on and stuff, I felt like I needed to update you. So it's kind of just a bit strange for me. It feels strange for me to be doing my updates. But nevertheless, we're here. So this week I've just been feeling very nauseous, very tired, more than anything. Last week, 9 weeks was worse. I definitely felt it a lot more last week. The sickness has definitely sort of like picked up. I started taking right at the beginning B12 supplements to try and help my progesterone, and a lot of people said that B12 actually helps morning sickness or any kind of sickness. So I wonder if that's masked the kind of sickness at the beginning, because when I stopped taking it, because I stopped taking it as a kind of experiment, it did come back, and there was a couple of days where I actually had to go to bed because I just felt so horrible and felt so sick. And it's been really difficult looking after the children when you feel so grotty, so unwell, so like just so like all the time. That's been really tough. But today it's not been, you know, it comes in waves. Some days are better than the others, some days are like really bad, and it tends to be worse kind of like in the kind of mid-morning to afternoon, and then it kind of gets a bit better and then picks up again kind of like later on in the afternoon. I think I've been in a bit of denial as to like my bump showing and stuff, and you know, wearing clothes. It's obviously summertime. I haven't gone out and bought any new clothes, but I kind of haven't even taken into consideration the fact that I'm going to get a bump. Like, it's because I guess the whole thing, like I said, it was just such a shock. I just sort of still can't believe it. So but I have to say this week I've started to, whether it's bloating or not, I don't know. I'm going to put a picture here of my bump this week, 10 weeks. So there is definitely something there, and it's definitely, I'm definitely feeling a bit bigger, but again, whether it's bloating or not, I don't know. That's the pregnancy, and obviously my anxiety is still really high, and I think it's gonna be until I know that everything's gonna be okay, until the baby's here safe and sound, but also until our sort of like 12-week scan. We're gonna just see how things are there. I think that sonographer suspects, you know, might not be what she wants, like the nuchal test or whatever that they do, measurement at the back of the neck. Then we'll go for a harmony test as opposed to any kind of blood test that the NHS offer, just so that we can get like a 100% certainty screening or 99% screening of any kind of genetic issues that there may be, because the ones that they do at the NHS are more of a probability. I think we'd probably find out the gender as well. I have heard baby's heartbeat on a Doppler. I actually heard it at like middle of 8 weeks and a couple of days. So that was really nice. I will say I wouldn't suggest people do it. For me, I was like sat there for like ages and ages trying to find it. Didn't happen. Tried the next day, didn't happen. Tried the day after, and then I eventually suddenly heard it after about 20 or 30 minutes, which is obviously quite a long time to be sitting there with a Doppler. And I've pretty much heard it every day since, but it can be very stressful if you can't find it, which has happened a couple of times. So but nevertheless it's still quite reassuring. But again, with Dopplers, don't ever rely on them. It's not just because you can hear a heartbeat doesn't necessarily mean that everything's okay. So if you have got any worries or anything, or you suspect something's going on, definitely go and see your midwife. I just wanted to talk about gender this week because it seems to be coming up loads. First, when you have one baby, no one really cares so much about the gender. No one's like saying, oh, do you hope it's a girl or a boy or whatever, you know, you kind of just excited for whatever you have. And then I feel like when you have your second, everyone seems to think that you must want the opposite gender. So if you have a boy, you must want a girl or whatever. And for a lot of people that is the case, but for me that's never been the case. So with Sebastian and Albert, I swayed blue. And if you don't know what swaying means, swaying is like basically you're doing things that might influence the gender. So male and female sperm thrive under different conditions, and there are little things that you can do to maybe try and influence whether it's the male or the female sperm that get to the egg first. There's the Shettles method, which I may do a separate video on. I'm going to do some like gender swaying videos, I think, actually. It's all just kind of for fun. I wouldn't, you know, it's not 100%, but we did sway blue with both the boys. So when I conceived Albert and Sebastian, I pretty much knew definitely with Albert that they were boys. This time round, according to the app that I have and the dates, my due date, so the date of conception, usually it gives you a rough date of conception, but this app tells you like an exact date of conception. And if I go by that date, then I did the deed 2 days before. So that would go with the Shettles method, which is basically that say do the deed 2 to 4 days before you ovulate and you're more likely to conceive a girl. Now, again, I sort of feel like naturally I'm going to have a boy just because I seem to make boys. So that I feel like that's what's going to happen. But lots of people have been making really funny comments, and some of the things that they say I think are quite innocent, but some of them are quite hurtful. So I recently had somebody say to me, oh, if you have a girl you'll have the perfect family, and I found that really hurtful because to me I feel like I already have the perfect family. I've never really had a desire to have a girl, and I have mentioned this in my gender disappointment video that I did for Channel Mum, and I'll leave that link down below. But I've never wanted a girl. There's some personal reasons why. I'm sure that if I have a girl I'll love it, but I think it's because I had a very difficult time growing up and I'm scared of how I would deal with things. I don't know, I'm sure boys are equally as difficult, but I've just never had this desire to have a girl. I'm not really like a girly girl. I don't really want, you know, I don't like pink as such, you know, so I'm not really like girly. So, and I've loved having boys. I've just loved having boys. So there's not that many boys on my side of the family either. So it's been quite nice, I think, for my family to have 2 boys. Chris's family, there's lots of boys, so it's been a bit different there. But yeah, for us, like definitely my mum's side doesn't have many boys at all. It was an interesting comment, didn't quite know how to take that. And lots of people have said, oh, you know, if you have 3 boys, would you try again for a girl? And I just think, like, why do people say these things? Like, I can understand if I've ever shown this desire, desperate desire to have a girl, I could understand it, but like, yeah, it's just a really strange. People have their real, like this real idea that if you have a girl and a boy together in a family, it must be perfect. And I think your family's perfect no matter what you have and no matter who, you know, as long as your children are healthy and happy, surely that makes for a perfect family. The thought of having 3 boys excites me, but equally does make me feel a bit nervous. I would say if you are expecting boys, my biggest tip would be to get your garden squared away. Whilst our garden isn't quite how we'd want it, like that is, I think, the key thing. Just purely because rain or shine, you can open the door in the morning and just let them run wild and just let off loads of energy. They just have so much energy. A trampoline is essential. It's the only thing that scares me of having 3 boys is obviously my energy levels are not great, so kind of keeping up with them is going to be a challenge. But at this particular time, I can honestly say to you, I don't know what we're having. Like, I haven't actually got a sense of what we're having. It's very difficult to tell. I think it's different if you planned it to if you've not planned it, or maybe it's not, I don't know. So but yeah, so that's been a bit of a running theme. Again, another good reason for having a girl this time around would be that I could get rid of so much of the clothes that I've been storing. Other than the ones that are gender neutral, I can get rid of quite a lot, which would just save so much, make so much more space. Pretty much it for this week. I just wanted to kind of just talk about that and let me know what you guys think. If you had funny comments being said to you, or have you been desperate for like one gender or the other? And like I said, I'm going to do some gender swaying videos. There are quite a few online, but I want to do one because at least for me the boy sway method has always worked. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you subscribe to all my social media, so my Facebook and my Instagram. I update there quite a lot. I do quite a few stories when I can, and also my blog www.yammymackin.com. Any posts you want me to write about, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.